My gosh, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's Mr. Reality, joined by psychic medium Liz Cross. And Liz, how have you been?
Well, I was so busy this week singing happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate all the birthday wishes out there, everybody. Been very busy with eating a lot of cake. So there was a passing that happened just before my birthday. Unfortunately, Michael Mosley, who's like the, I guess, BBC Oz doctor of the BBC, and he's got a lot of health tips and he's got a lot of online suggestions for you to be healthier, but he didn't take advice and stay hydrated. And unfortunately, that didn't end well. And I wonder if we could bring him through and ask him some questions. You posted them on your Patreon. If you're not there, patreon.com, remote viewing and beyond. Sign up, be there, see the fun that happens behind the curtain.
Wow. Yeah, I really liked Michael Mosley. He did a lot of work on, by him being on television, a lot of the knowledge, comes to the people. And that's what I love about these TV doctors, right? The genuine ones. He was very genuine.
Ah,
He's great. So I do have him here. By the way, when he was missing, I already knew that he had passed, and I knew that he had not died immediately. I could sense that. He told me that, but he eventually died. He lost consciousness first, and then he passed.
okay. Was it murder?
No,
Okay.
no, it's
Was
his
it
own fault.
suicide?
No, absolutely not. He's taking 100% full responsibility for his reckless behavior. And he's telling me he was a bit like that. He liked to live on the edge, he liked to push his body to the limits. He
Right.
liked
A lot
to
of
see how.
fasting I read about. And
Mm.
so, did he know on the day that he woke up that this was his last day, or was this in his life plan to be dead that day?
Ooh, on the day that you woke up, that day you woke up, did you know that that was your last day? No, it was like any normal day, just sun, sea, fun. I wonder what made him decide to go for this walk.
Yeah,
Like,
40 centigrade outside, 1:30 in the afternoon. You take a walk on the island, some island in Greece, and what was his motivation behind that walk? Did he think, "Oh, let's just sweat some stuff out," or what was his plan?
what was your plan behind that? I wanted to push my body, but you knew there were heat warnings. He said, no, actually, I wasn't aware that there was heat warnings out. And I'm saying, but you didn't have but maybe one bottle of water? He said, no, I drank that. I actually didn't have anything to drink. So what were you thinking? Like, what on earth made you think that this may have been a good idea?
Sorry for the
He says,
laugh,
I
but yeah.
wasn't thinking. I wasn't. Yeah, no, I know, but it's like you want to shake him, right? Because it is a big loss to everyone, his
Right.
information. And I'm letting him know that. And he is fully aware of that, the loss now. And even though I know the BBC tried to put their own spin on it, and they're saying, well, we've learned from even his passing, which is to never hike alone.
Kind of
And
shines a negative light, though, on everything that you've done when you die like that, to me, in my opinion. But
he's fully aware of that. He is.
has he discovered anything on the other side that he wishes he could share with the world?
Have you discovered anything on the other side that you wish you could share with the world? Just that he loves science. I mean, now he's up there. He has a lot of scientific answers to questions that he had always pondered,
Share those with us.
about, yeah, about the body. Liver health is the most important thing, he's telling me. I'm like, more important than heart health? He says, oh, exponentially so. Why is the liver the most important thing? Or because it really, the optimal function of the liver is optimizing the whole body, sort of. That he believes in his own personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Again, this is psychic entertainment. I
Right.
always say that. We always have to say that. But in his opinion, he's saying the liver is of utmost importance. It's what ensures the survival of the other organs.
Someone asked, what is his best advice for weight loss?
What is your best advice for weight loss? Reduce caloric intake. Now, that doesn't surprise me he said that, because he actually did a whole thing on reduced calorie. Do you still stand by what you did on the earth plane, which is your reduced calorie intake series, the documentary you did? Do you believe that that extends your life longer? I mean, it extends your health longer, but see, now he's on the other side. He goes, your day of death is your day of death, right? But I'm saying that those of us that want to have at least a healthy experience up to the point of that day of death, that day of reckoning, whatever you want to call it, is reduced calorie the way forward? Absolutely, 100% yes.
Can he see the totality of the world and the problems that are on Mother Earth now? And what does he think, if he can, the most pressing problem nutritionally is for people?
What do you think the most pressing problem nutritionally is for people on the earth plane? Carbohydrates, not complex carbs, but filler foods, right? Rice, noodles, pasta, bread. That's what's killing people, in his own personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions.
And how does he think people can fight that? Because it's kind of addictive, those carbs, those complex carbohydrates. And is that more of a problem than starvation?
Is that right? Is that more of a problem than starvation? Sometimes it's easier to starve than to give in to eating those foods. And also, you have to have faith and trust that the universe will provide. Okay. Um, I understand what he's saying. So he's saying, actually, instead of eating like bread and rice and carbs, pasta, you would be better off drinking broth or a tea with more nutritional value, because none of these foods have any nutritional value whatsoever. Yet they tell our bodies that we're full when we're not actually full with good nutrients. But, there's a lot of poverty in the world.
Right.
And the problem with carbohydrates, if you ever notice this, wealthy people, if you ever go to like a wealthy restaurant, or you're, flying and maybe whatever business class or first class, you're staying in a boutique resort or whatever, staying in a nice hotel, do you
Invite me
realize?
next time you go, by the way.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, yeah, right. But they don't eat carbohydrates. Wealthy people eat very, very minimal amounts of carbohydrates. They don't need filler foods, right? They become satiated by eating high quality foods and nutrition. Whereas the poor end of the spectrum, and even more so now that we have all this inflation, we fill up on carbs. So we're eating far too many carbohydrates, and what happens is it fills us. We're just eating it to feel full, but the nutrients are not hitting the body, so therefore the body is depleted, the body is starving.
Right. I wanted to know if he could tell us, now that he's in the afterlife, is there anything he has learned that could revolutionize a new part of BBC he wanted to tell us? Like, if he had another skit to do, knowing what he knows now, what would he say is most important?
He actually says that just putting the information out on the television is not enough. It's arming the people with knowledge, but it's not changing the political systems. And you really have to make political changes to make sure the people are well nourished and well fed. He's telling me in his own personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, because I know this is going to open up a whole can of worms, right? He says the government should subsidize high quality nutrition. And I'm saying, but where are they going to pay for that? Like, where's the money going to come from to pay for that? I mean,
I
here
have
in
some
the US,
ideas. I probably can't say it on TV here.
right, but we have a lot of people here in the US. Like, how could the government subsidize high quality food for every single individual? And he's telling me nobody should be nutrient deficient and nobody should be starving. He said this is a misnomer of the government political system. There's plenty of food to go around. And I'm saying, but now you're borderline, you're going into like communism where the government will take care of every need. Now, in his own personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, he's okay with that. So, as we know, the universe, and I've said this God knows how many times, and if you're not in the CTT group, you're missing out because the amount of information we uncover in the CTT group every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Central, okay, we get a lot of information there. Anyway, I'm saying, but this is kind of communist, and the universe is competitive. It's designed to be competitive. And I'm telling him the reason it's designed to be competitive is because the need for food, water, shelter, and air, right? Those basic needs, and that's what makes us compete on the most basic level. If we are not competitive, we are not constantly moving energy around, light to dark, dark to light. And that's a very big explanation to go into, but those of us in the CTT group, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
One
And
of
I'm
your
saying,
listeners.
but
Go ahead.
this thing that he's proposing, this government subsidization of food, that would take away this competition for food. And he says, exactly, he knows that. And I'm saying, but do you think that in your heart of hearts, now that you have one in the spirit world, you don't
I
really
have
have
one.
a
Yeah,
heart,
it all gets poofed.
right? So, but in your heart of hearts, just for this phrase's sake or the saying's sake, do you believe that the universe would ever allow such a system to come into play? And he's saying no. That you're right, Liz. So I mean, that type of attitude, as idealistic as it sounds, and he goes, well, you asked for my opinion. I'm like, yeah, but now I'm offering this rebuttal. This goes against the design of the universe where everything's supposed to be competitive.
One of your listeners asked about mitochondrial health. Is this really the building block for good health? And how can we improve the functionality of our mitochondria?
Is mitochondria essential? Oh, it's absolutely 100% the key to good health, he says. So, how do we improve the health of the mitochondria? Again, he's standing by calorie restriction, good quality, filtered water, uh, free from pesticides, uh, herbicide, all this stuff that they put into the water supply. He said it is absolutely essential. And just living a very minimalistic existence, he's telling me. We
Okay.
actually don't need much.
No. Maybe more water. Do you think the NHS will survive for long in the UK? This is a UK listener question.
Ooh. Do you think the NHS will survive for a long time in the UK? No, it's going to go part private. Okay, I totally get that. Why do you think, how long before it goes partially into a privatized system? So when you're looking around the mid 2030s to late 2030s,
Okay.
okay, you're going to start seeing that this system is on its knees. Is it going to be in far worse shape than what it is now? Oh, absolutely. It's going to be barely functioning. So going into the 2030s, you're going to see more UK citizens, UK residents starting to pay for their health care.
Hmm.
And that sort of sentiment is going to take hold in the political sphere where they start to introduce a partially privatized system.
All right. What is the main health problem of citizens in the UK?
What was the main? I'm sorry.
The main like problem of citizens in the UK, their health problems.
What is the main health problem of citizens in the UK? They eat crap. He basically just said they eat a lot of fried food, a lot of sugar.
Fish and
Uh,
chips. I mean,
yeah,
it's a staple. Uh, you said singing makes you very happy. Can humming or whistling have the same effect?
he says singing clears the lungs, and that's important as well. Singing is almost like a lung strengthening exercise, and
Okay.
it's very good for the soul, and it also makes you vibrate higher. So yes, singing is an excellent resource for health.
You talk about the benefits of the cannabinoid receptors, CB1, CB2, that are found in the brain. Is there any way to get the benefit of these without ingesting cannabis?
No, but there is a way to enter into a meditative state or letting go of the consciousness that provides the same effect.
Does it
Mm.
have a same healing effect as the cannabinoids do?
Does it have the same healing effect as the cannabis? It's different. Like it's not exactly the same, but it does the same job.
What are some primary misconceptions that you had about health that now you see? Oh, okay, now I see it. What's changed since death?
Do you believe that the NHS is doing a good service to the citizens? No, no. He now he's on the other side. He can see. He was all for the NHS when he was here. He's saying now I'm on the other side. It's diabolical, and it really is just luck of the draw. If your name basically gets drawn out of the hat, you may get good service, but most people don't. What is the biggest misconception now that you're on the other side that you can see with regards to health that we need to eat? He's still like anti eating a lot of food. Do you
Okay.
believe that we should be eating in the evenings? No. He thinks that we should only be eating in the mornings. And do you believe that we should be eating in the afternoon? Like 2 o'clock should be the cutoff time, according to his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. And you should have regular bedtimes. And why do you think that it will improve sleep? He's telling me. Why do you think that you should? I'm like, you can't sleep if you're hungry. He's like, you got to get over that. You will get over it eventually. But I'm
Oh, yeah.
saying to him, like, why do you think that we should cut off at like 2 o'clock? Because you got to give your digestive system time to rest, he says. It really is optimal.
Here's one. Were you abducted by aliens at any point in your lifetime?
Ooh, were you abducted by aliens at any point in your lifetime? No, but have you seen it? Did you see any UFOs or aliens? He did have an encounter when he
Oh.
was a small child.
I think I always ask about aliens. Really? Well, that was interesting. Do you believe there's any way to prepare for the afterlife through our health choices here on Earth?
Absolutely, he says. Plant-based diet raises your vibration, and the higher your vibration, the closer you are to source and the spirit world and that sort of understanding. So you want to eat very high vibrational foods.
How many lifetimes has he had down here on planet Earth as a human being?
As a human being, 400 roughly.
Okay. Is he upset with himself? Or is he still berating himself for going out without a phone, without more water?
Are you upset do you believe that you made a massive mistake? He's asking me to help him now. He's like, Liz, please help me. Okay. Are you upset that you went out? Yes, he said it was a really stupid thing to do, and he's very sorry about the trauma he's brought onto his family and his wife, especially. But why was this in the soul contract to leave this way? He said, I didn't want to have an aging body. I don't like getting old. I don't like being in a failing body. I don't want to have to experience that. I would have been refusing to die. Did you suffer with depression in this lifetime? Yes, he did. He had problems with depression in this lifetime.
Is there a one size fits all diet, or does it depend on genetics and where you're at on the earth and your lifestyle and your activity?
Is there a one size fits all diet? No, there isn't. But we have to reduce our sugar. We have to reduce our carbs. We have to eat higher quality food. Now, he keeps showing me like stringy, sort of almost like seaweed kind of stuff. He goes, you got to incorporate more of this into
Oh,
the
I hope it's
body,
not
into the diet.
natto. Natto is disgusting.
What is it?
Natto is like this fermented beans from Japan. It's just when you said stringy, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's stringy. It's kind of like you pull it apart and it's kind of and I'm like, what is this? But he okay, what about what is it called? Natto?
Yeah, natto.
Natto?
Natto.
Natto. What do you think about? Oh, he says that's excellent for is it fermented? He's saying
Yeah.
fermentation. Okay. He's saying that's excellent for your health. It really is one of the best things that you could eat.
So the
Should
more
we
horrible it tastes, the better it is for you. Okay, got it?
what does it taste like?
Oh, you don't want to know. It's terrible. So what else can people do to make their mitochondria more healthy, their liver more healthy, and just get that overall health boost?
What? Should we be eating meat every day? No, we should only be eating. Are you talking when I say meat? Are you saying red meat? No, any type of meat. What about fish? Fish doesn't count, but any type of chicken or meat, or what about lamb, goat, whatever. You should only eat that once a week. Your diet should be a majority of a plant-based diet. I'm like, but where do we get the protein? And he says, you source the protein from plant based sources. I'm like, okay, but you do realize that this stuff costs a lot of money. And he is fully aware of that. He goes, hence why I said that the government should subsidize high quality food. But do you believe that maybe we're doing it wrong? Maybe we should teach gardening and growing things in school, and you make people have or you certainly give people the opportunity to have allotments, to have community gardens. He goes, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm sorry, what was the question?
I think that was it. Everyone, I appreciate your questions. And Michael Mosley, thanks for joining us and sharing some insight from the other side.
You know, we may have to do a part two on this one. This will probably bring about loads more questions. And I'm happy to do that. You know, he could be a good resource for us now. He's on the other side. He just said, thank you, Liz. I would be happy to do that. Um, he, you know, for our health questions in the future. And he does feel like he made a terrible mistake. He feels bad about the amount of pain he's inflicted on his wife, his family. What about your fans? Because I'm one of your fans. So what about your fans? He goes, not so much you guys, you know, obviously that's a loss, but he says there'll be others coming in behind me. There's always people wanting to take my place and they'll have new information. He says, my information was getting kind of stale. That's probably why it was time to go. And but as really, if his wife or his family are listening to this video, he wants to tell you how blessed he was that you were his family. He would always choose you again, and that he loves and misses you all very much. But you can carry on without him, and you will be just fine. So that was his message to his family.
Michael Mosley, we bid you adieu.